Right, I've just got these out the oven. I've made 9 nice big burger buns. They're much better than any burger buns that you'll buy in the shops, I'll tell you. Over the last 2 years, almost 2 years, I've been making my own bread, and I've tested different recipes. And this one's probably the best that I've got, and will stick with for now. You get a perfect crust, not hard, nice and soft. So let's press it. See, nice soft crust, but the bread inside beautiful, really soft and unctuous. Oh, can't eat them yet. They've got to go in the freezer. Right, so what I'll tell you is my recipe for these, if you want them to be perfect, is, just tell you, I use warm milk, get it warm, 300 ml of warm milk, pop it into the microwave for about 1 minute 20, so that the milk's nice and warm, because after all, the yeast is a living thing, so you need to keep it quite happy and alive. So pop your 7 grams of dried yeast into the warm milk and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Just mix it up and just pop it into the microwave. Don't turn it on, just leave it in a warm place for about 10 minutes to activate. Take out your dish with your activated yeast in, and you can add 1 egg. 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of oil, any oil that you prefer, olive oil or rapeseed oil or just vegetable oil. It doesn't really matter, it depends on your taste. So that's what you've done. You've got your warm milk, you've let it rise a little bit, make sure that dried yeast is active, and then you've mixed in a teaspoon of sugar and 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of oil. It's really simple. Beat that up so that the egg's well beaten in, and in a big mixing bowl, put yourself 500 grams of strong bread flour. I use the little bread flour because it's only cheap and it does the same job. I forget what it is, it's gone up a little bit, but if you can get it, that's it. But if you can, buy yourself some while it's in stock and pop it in your shelves, you've always got it. Right, and you add to the flour 2 small teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon heaped of baking powder. Now when you've done that, make a well in the middle of your flour and add all that liquid that you've got, which is the yeast, the sugar, the egg and the oil. Pop that into the middle, and with the handle of a large spoon, just mix it all together. Once you've got it mixed together, get your hand in and give it a good knead. All you'll do, leave it in the bowl. You haven't got to put it onto the surface making a mess. You can do this first knead in the bowl. So knead it well. Give it a good squeeze in and turn in. So I'd say 8 to 10 minutes, really. Right, you've got to let it rise after that. So a little bit of oil in a dish, cover it with cling film and pop it into the microwave, which is a good place for me because it's out of drafts. Put your timer on for 1 hour minimum. Doesn't matter if you leave it over, but an hour seems to be about enough, or just over. If you've got a timer on, that's no problem. So once you've done that, you get that out and you knead it well on a floured surface for about 10 minutes. Again, I tend to use my Alexa for that and set it for 10 minutes. Give it a good knead and then get your weigher and weigh out the buns or the cobs. I tend to add the lot up, pop it all of the dough onto the weigher, and then divide it by 9 for this particular recipe. So you've got 9 nice, good-sized cobs. Once you've done that, weigh each one equally. I think these were about 104 grams each, 105 maybe, but you'd have to do that yourself depending on what your weight is. Just on the calculator, just put the total amount and divide it by 9. If you want them really big buns, you can have 8, but I would suggest these are burger size buns, so I tend to do them as 9. And when you've done that, knead each one, make them into a nice ball and put them onto a baking dish that's got some paper on it so as it doesn't stick. Greaseproof paper. When you've done that and you've got them all nice, just cut a little with the scissors, cut a little slit on the very top, give it somewhere to grow. Leave it then for an hour in a draft-free space. Hour, maybe a little bit longer. Just watch them and you'll see them grow. Get your oven hot. Paint it with milk. Paint the breads with milk. And I add some of these, what they're called here, these things. What are they? Seeds. Yeah, sesame seeds. Just a scattering of sesame seeds. I'll pop them into a hot oven. I'll start them off at 120, I've got what I put it on now, 200. I'll put it in a 200 oven and then turn it down to 170 once they're in. And then just keep an eye on them really. I tend to set my timer for 15 minutes. And these are probably in about 12 or 13. Just watch them if they're all nice and brown. If when you just open the oven, it's not like cake that's going to drop. So you can look at them or turn them if they're burning one side. So if you look at the bottom of your bun, and what you'll do is you'll hear it, it'll make a noise. Hear it. It's like a drum, and you know it's done then. Take them out, put them onto a wire rack to cool, and enjoy.